Yes, guys, welcome to flatcapeurotalk. It is yet again another weekend watch list here. Apologies for missing out on the last one, but we will come back with them a bit more regularly this time. We got a very jam-packed one this time, and to help me out with it this time, it is going to be Shamu joining me for this one. Shamu is going to help break down all these weekend picks. Shamu, I mean, we got a lot picked for this one, but any of the weekend football that maybe you're especially looking forward to?
The United Derby, I'm looking forward to that just to see how Ollie's gonna suffer. I guess it's just fun watching them kind of see how they get on. It's either going to be hot or cold, so enjoying that, and also the Juventus game. They've got a good fixture coming up. Always
Yeah,
good to see how they get
definitely.
on.
So, yeah,
I
we'll
like
see
the
how they get
Serie
on,
A.
but yeah, exactly. And we'll see how they get on. But as always, a reminder, everybody, this is where you can find the majority of these kind of leagues that, from Europe's top five leagues here. You can find ESPN Plus for Bundesliga action, Sky Sports there, BN Sport and BT Sport for Liga. Serie A, you can find it on Paramount Plus and BT Sport. And then for La Liga, it can be on ESPN Plus and an Amazon package. So let's, without further ado, crack into this one. The first one is going to be Valencia versus Atletico Madrid. And, this one I do find a bit interesting just because I feel like Atletico have been kind of scraping by with results. They haven't really been the I would say the greatest so far this season. Of course, they're actually sitting in fourth position this time after 11 matches played. They have 22 points after 11 matches, 6 wins, 4 draws, and 1 defeat. Whereas Valencia, who started off very hot, I must say, kind of fell out of form, are now after 12 matches played are on 16 points, just tied with Barca, actually. Barca just ahead of them on goal difference at the moment. I would probably say Valencia, they're probably looking forward to get some sort of result here. The reason I picked this one, Shamu, personally, is just because Atletico, I mean, we've seen, I mean, it's almost a red card per game, it seems like when they play at this rate in La Liga, Champions League, it's just so many, nasty little cards and, kind of spats and feuds and fights that end up happening. So if you're into that kind of sort of thing, I would say you definitely watch this one.
Yeah, definitely, especially with Luis Suarez in there. He's always a hothead, and you've got Diego Simeone on the side. He's always a passionate man, and they haven't really been performing this season, and they just lost to Liverpool in midweek in Champions League. So they'll need a performance, and they're away from home. It's never easy traveling away to that stadium. It's quite a big stadium, quite intimidating.
No, it certainly is. It's
Arsenal
going to
had their problems going there.
always have. It's going to be taking place in Valencia, though, on Sunday at 3:15. By the way, British Standard Time. And again, you can find that on ESPN Plus and on an Amazon package. The next one, I think this is a fair shout. Actually, it's going to be Juventus against Fiorentina. Juventus, it's going to be up in northern Italy, so a bit of a northern southern kind of battle for this one. It's going to be taking place on Saturday around 6 p.m. British Standard Time on BT Sport and Paramount Plus. Juventus, I mean, they are not doing well this season. They're doing fantastic in the Champions League, but they are not doing well in Serie A. They just dropped points after making a bit of a climb back up the table. They did just drop points to Verona, who they're actually level with after 11 matches played. They're sitting in ninth position right now, Juventus. And the team that's ahead of them, that's playing them right now, is on 18 points, 3 points ahead, and that is Fiorentina. I find that to be, honestly, it's going to be a really good game just because I think Juventus are desperate, for points. They need to start churning up the 3 points here. They need to start, winning more. I mean, Napoli and Milan are kind of running away with the league at the moment. So Juventus, I would say, Shamu, personally, are in crisis mode, but I don't think Fiorentina is going to be an easy opposition for them.
No, just 2 words are you there. Dusan Vlahovic, he'll want to come and spoil the party for Juventus. He'll love that. So he's definitely one to watch out there. And obviously Milinkovic, he's a class in back, nice tall lad. They've got some good players in that team, some good performers, and they always seem to bring through good players too, like good Italian players, like Chiesa came from there, and we got him now. He's class.
Yeah, I mean, Chiesa is honestly one of the better players in the world now, I think, in my opinion. But that's going to be taking place on Saturday, by the way, everybody. So if you're looking for something to do, something to watch on Saturday around 6 p.m. British Standard Time, feel free to check out that one. I think that one will not disappoint. Moving on to RB Leipzig against Dortmund. This is a bit of a good German kind of clash, between RB Leipzig, who currently sit in the table, quite far down. Again, another team that's in a bit of a crisis, who hasn't really done too well in their respective domestic league. They're on 15 points after 10 matches played, whereas Dortmund are just behind Bayern, just 1 point behind, with 24 points after 10 matches played. Dortmund, this would just be, I think, a strong test for them. RB Leipzig will be at home. They will, maybe have the home crowd behind them. They play very attacking football. RB Leipzig, they're actually a very dangerous team, I would say, going forward, as we even saw in our watch along, where they were able to score a lot of goals in their Champions League run so far, against also in PSG. They could have scored a whole lot more than two, which that means, a team like Dortmund, which has been a very leaky defense, I must say, actually allowing 15 goals so far, even more goals than than Dortmund have allowed. So I think this one could be goals galore. As often the Bundesliga is kind of goals galore, I think this one will be definitely goals galore. So if you were to pick maybe, a prediction for this match, Shamu, I mean, what would be your prediction? I might go, I think Leipzig actually might take this one and upset Dortmund. I might go for a 3-1 actually to Leipzig for some reason. That's what's come to mind.
I think Dortmund will win, even though they're missing Erling Haaland, which is, a big miss for them in terms of
There you are.
their attacking options. I still think Dortmund will want to come back. They lost recently into Ajax away, so they'll want a performance away from home. They won't want to, get bad form going. They'll want to beat Leipzig. I think they will, because as we saw in that game, which we did the watch along for, the very leaky in defence. So just depends if
Very, very
Dortmund can
true.
turn up and Marlon can turn up and get him behind that defence. He'll put away his chances. He's quite lethal on his day.
Very, very true, actually, Shamu. Two very leaky defenses. So everybody, if you're looking for poor defending and, lots of attacking and lots of goals, I would definitely check out that one, everyone. Moving on to the Manchester Derby. I think this is a bit of an obvious one, so we put it at number 2. Also, just because Manchester United, they're not doing too well in the league this season. So I think that's kind of why. If it were a bit more of a, a top 4 kind of, clash that's, for the title or something, maybe I would include it as number 1. But this could maybe be the match where we see Ole get sacked. Who knows? Maybe that's the reason why maybe you could put it at number 1. But I think there's a special match that I would put ahead of this one. But maybe that's the prediction we could come up with. Shamu, Manchester United, if they were to be embarrassed again at home at Old Trafford, which is no longer a fortress, could you see maybe Ole getting sacked after this one?
I'm not sure what that Manchester United would. If they had a proper director of football by now, they would have already sacked Ole and probably brought in Conte. He said he was there waiting to accept the job, so they're obviously backing Solskjaer. So it'll be interesting to see, because it's at obviously Old Trafford, and if they get slapped up again, their fans are going to let Ole know, and you don't want the Man City fans singing "Ole's at the wheel." That would be embarrassing. Probably if it was at the Man City stadium, probably wouldn't be worth watching, because there'd be probably not many people there. So Old Trafford's always a good vibe. Like, it's always a good atmosphere there. I like good old
Rightfully
school
so.
ground.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so, Shimon. Definitely well said, actually. But I'm going to say Ole gets sacked after this one, maybe just to be a bit controversial. But there you are, everybody. That
That'll be
is our
funny.
number 2 match. That is taking bright and early on Saturday morning, 1:30 p.m. UK time. A bit early for me, around 8:30. Actually, I do believe. Actually, maybe around 9:30, since the time difference from daylight savings has changed up a bit. So please check out that one. Honorable mentions, a new segment for this one. Honorable mentions. To run through these, we have Lokomotiv Moscow against Spartak Moscow, a bit of a Moscow kind of derby here. And this one I do find to be a bit interesting. Lokomotiv Moscow sitting in second place. Zenit are certainly running away with the league this season. Lokomotiv Moscow sit in second place with 24 points after 13 matches played, and Spartak Moscow sit a bit deeper with 18 points after 13 matches played. So Spartak are certainly going to have to maybe take some points away from their crosstown rivals or their cross-city rivals. I hate to say this, maybe, kind of failing in this part. Not too familiar with, many of the Lokomotiv Moscow or Spartak Moscow players. I think I know about Quincy Promes, of course, from Spartak Moscow. And then in the case of Lokomotiv Moscow, I think there's a guy named Zé Luis, who I've heard of before. He's played for Porto before. All I can say is, the Moscow Derby, if you have it available to you, I would just definitely say, got to check it out, because it could be a bit hectic, could be a bit kind of crazy. But let's move on to the other one, which is a Romanian league. derby here, and it is going to be an interesting one because I know there's some people that have requested, maybe Romanian league mentions, maybe just because of the shithousery, maybe just because the games are a bit kind of wild over there as well, just like maybe in the Russian league. And we do have for this one where it is going to be Voluntari against Bucharest, or I think it's Sporting Club, or Football Sporting Club Bucharest. I forgot how you really say it, but Voluntari against Bucharest. Voluntari sit in fifth position after 14 matches played, whereas Bucharest sit in second after 14 matches played. Where CFR Cluj, that team that seems to continue to find themselves in the Europa League, are sitting first after 36 points. Bucharest, they're going to have to find, a way to gets 3 points here in order to continue that surge, maybe for the top against Cluj. I would certainly say that, that one is going to be interesting, especially just for kind of the Romanian league derbies. And the final one here is Premier League, Liga NOS, Benfica against Braga. I would just say, everybody, Benfica certainly have looked pretty decent this season, I would say, especially under their new manager, who looks like he's from Back to the Future. And Braga, are a very, very historic club that, continue to kind of find themselves up and down the table in Premier League. But I just feel like that's kind of a classic rivalry, two kind of, very historic clubs of Liga NOS. I mean, Shamu, if you were to look at any of these honorable mention games, if you had to pick one of these three, which one would you probably recommend?
Probably go with the Moscow derby, just because, the Russian leagues just can be a bit gnarly at times. Bring your coat as well. Could be a bit cold just even watching the game. I'm not sure if it's winter there, but I'm sure it'll be cold in Moscow by now. And I like the train logo always. I like it. I like the train influence. It's cool. It's unique.
Yeah,
So,
it is
and
actually
if
very
you
unique.
well, we were talking about Tim Yedvise. He's at Lokomotiv Moscow.
There you are, actually. There you are,
That's a
actually.
big fall from grace. Big fall from grace for that guy.
Yeah, certainly. Big fall from grace. And there are probably a few Russian talents that maybe I'm kind of forgetting about that certainly could be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a
Russia
French
doesn't
player
have
who
the
plays
worst
for
of teams.
Spartak as well. There's a French player called Beka, a young midfielder. He's not too bad. I've seen a
You
little
can
bit of him.
You can find some, young talented players, I will say, in the Russian league. Of course, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, the guy Ruben Kazan, you certainly can find. But our number one pick here, AC Milan against Inter Milan, at the San Siro, taking place on Sunday on the Lord's Day as well, at 7:45 British Standard Time at BT Sport and Paramount Plus. I mean, AC Milan sitting very high on top of the league at 31 points, tied with Napoli in this case, both actually undefeated as well this season. Milan as well as Napoli being undefeated. Napoli, though, just have a ridiculous goal differential where they've only conceded 3 goals, whereas Napoli or Milan, excuse me, have conceded a few amount of goals this season, with 10 conceded in comparison. Inter, though, sit in third place, 7 points behind them, which just really speaks to how on fire Napoli and Milan are this season. It is maybe going to be a 2-horse title race, probably. But Inter, if they want to catch any sort of points, if they want to maybe upset maybe the Milan faithful, certainly I would definitely check this out. Also, Milan derbies are just always worth watching. Just always worth watching. Just a whole different type of game. I would say one of the best clashes always in Europe's top 5 leagues. Shamu, any predictions maybe for this one? Any score lines? Any upsets? What are you thinking?
I think maybe if Inter Milan could do AC Milan, because they do have kind of an older squad, and AC Milan do seem to slip up and let kind of easy goals in here and there. And Inter Milan, there's no team to snub at, and it's not like Inter Milan have to travel far for this one or anything. So it's again, we're going for the red and blue theme, with Man United and Man City, red versus blue and red versus blue again. So I'm just going to have to go Inter Milan just because Brozovic is there, and I saw his goal in the Champions League. What a goal! Just a feint,
I
and
haven't
then
been able to
just
catch that.
planted in the corner. Oh, you have to. It's no favoritism here.
I enjoy Inter Milan more than AC Milan. If I had to pick between the two teams, historically, I've been more of an Inter fan, just because they represent a bit more of the kind of blue collar kind of Milan faithful. So that's why I kind of always gone for them. And I have been a bit of a fan of Icardi and other players of their teams past, as well as Zanetti, and plenty of beautiful players. Also, we all know Jose had his tenure there in Samoeto. So I've just always been a bit more of an Inter Milan fan, but Certainly would like to see them upset the AC Milan. But then again, this 2-horse title race with Napoli running away with the league this season, I kind of probably want to make it a bit more entertaining. So maybe I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw or a 1-1 draw. I'm going to stick with a 2-2 draw. But there you are, everybody. That is the end of this weekend watch list. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It is Shamu and I again, as always. But we will be signing off. But Shamu, any maybe final remarks maybe on this weekend, anything that, you might be doing yourself, non-football related or anything, maybe just in terms of these games, what do you want to let the Flat Cap Army know?
Oh, not too much. Yeah, I'm still in lockdown here, so I can't really go out
Yeah.
and do much. So the callers here just stay home, and thankfully football's on this time during lockdown, because during the first one I had no football on, so it was quite depressing. So at least
Yeah.
something to watch now, and Spurs have a new coach, so
There
I'm
we go.
loving that.
Antonio Conte time this weekend. Certainly going to keep enjoying the pasta, keep enjoying the pizza, and the Peronis will be flowing, everybody. But that'll be all for now. Please like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, never miss another weekend watch list like this one with Shamu and I. And we'll be seeing you.